The Division ist auch dieses Jahr auf der E3 vertreten. Ich habe einen der Entwickler hier. So what are you guys showcasing this year here for the Division?
This year it's all about the Dark Zone. So if you saw the Ubisoft conference, you saw kind of a glimpse of what can happen with the multiplayer and PvP. So here on site you can play that kind of demo experience and go in there in teams. There's 3 teams of 3. You get a mission to head in. Once you get inside, it's all about trying to extract that loot that you got, and then chaos kind of breaks out.
But see, this is the thing I'm wondering about this game mode. You know, normally when you play things where you're going in a team or co-op, team killing is something that is frowned upon, and you're sort of levitating this mechanic to something that of a game mode. I mean, aren't you worried that people are going to be like, well, this is frustrating. I'm playing with online people that I don't know. Of course, there's going to be kids who are just going to be fisting me after I get the loot. I mean, are you worried that this is counterproductive of enjoyment?
I mean, that's a potential, absolutely. So, you know, the game is still in development. We still got the betas coming. We're still going to be looking at all that feedback. But we wanted to start with a base where we try to have the least control over how you want to play and how you want to interact with other agents. And we start there. And then if we find, hey, you know, this mechanic is a little bit too harsh, this doesn't really work out, we can always make adjustments. So
this game has been in development for some time. I mean, I've seen it for the very first time 3 years ago at E3, and it blew everybody away. What has changed? What have you guys been working on? What has been feedback that you guys maybe took into consideration when making this game?
I mean, it's you know, you were around from the start, which a lot of people have. The vision hasn't changed, the scope of the game hasn't changed. It's just been about building it and making sure that the experience we deliver lives up to the hype and the anticipation that's gonna been built for the game. So that's all we've been doing is working, building the game. And yeah, and nothing really has changed a lot.
I'm still having some troubles wrapping my mind around how much of a multiplayer game it actually is. Is it an MMO experience, or is it different? Can you clarify on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So it's we don't like to use the word MMO because it's, you know, most MMOs have a persistent play space everywhere. So you can see Legolas 444 run by you all over the place. With the Division, when you're out in the open world, it's your phased experience. So you'll be either alone or with your team, and you won't see random players. When you go into the Dark Zone, which is a multiplayer space, that's when you can run into other agents and other players. So depends on where you are in the game on what type of experience you'll have. So it's not a contemporary or a past MMO type of game. But we have levels, it's an RPG, it's about loot, it's about weapons, it's about modifying your skills. So all of that, we definitely want that to be deep and get the investment you put in, we want you to get that out of the game.
There has been some controversy to what has been shown, 3 years ago, and to what the game looks like now when it's shown. Is there a graphic downgrade?
No, it's funny. I've been reading that. We read the internet as well, and I assume you're going to play soon. But it's playing on the Xbox One. There's nothing been downgraded. I believe, and the team believes, it's the most detailed and beautiful game that's going to have been released to date when we come out. So, if people want to jump on the downgrade bandwagon, they can. But I'm extremely proud of how it looks and how it performs.
Also, Ghost Recon Wildlands was showcased by Ubisoft, and it seemed like these games seemed similar in that it's an open world and there's a lot of cover shooting going on. Do you think that might be problematic? That there might be some people that saying, Ghost Recon Wildlands is pretty much the same as the Division?
I mean, it's a fair question. I obviously can't speak to their game, but I think it's actually Ubisoft reacting to what players want. Players want open world games. They want games where they can mature their character or their player over time. They want to see that progression and persistence. So I think it's more trying to give your players and your fans what they want, and not trying to make similar type games. And our setting is very unique. It's very different than anything I've seen. So I'm not really worried about that comparison. But they're both Clancy games.
So how many people will there be in when I play an online game? How many people will there be on a map?
Well, the exact number we're still tuning, so we're not saying numbers, but what I can say is the experience we want when you're in the multiplayer area is we don't want a multiplayer map or a battleground type of scenario. We want you to have time and space in between running into other agents. So we'll be continuing to fine-tune that number until it feels right up until launch.
So when will the game be out?
The game is out on March 8th, 2016 on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC simultaneously.
Will there be graphical differences between PS4 and Xbox One version?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ja, das ist The Division. Ich werde jetzt versuchen, auch noch mal gleich ein Ründchen zu zocken, denn ich habe da schon Bock drauf. Ich liebe New York, die Stadt, und durch ein kaputtes New York zu gehen, hat definitiv auch seinen Reiz.